Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Rounding the Bases podcast. I'm Coach Coons, along with Coach Porter, and we are extremely honored tonight to have Coach Casey Underwood from Snead State Community College in Boaz, Alabama. Uh, just a little bit of what I know about Casey before we give him the show here. Casey is one of the premier JUCO coaches in the state of Alabama, if not nationally. He's been to the World Series. He's been to the regionals. His kids, when they leave Snead, they have tons of opportunity to play at the next level. And all-around ambassador. In addition to all that, he's also the athletic director at Snead because he had a lot of free time on his hands, obviously. So he picked that up. And Chad, you know something about being an administrator, so you're right up that alley. But Casey, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you. Tell us about your program, Snead State Community College.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on, and I can't do this without saying that your son was one of the best assistants I ever had, and I'm proud of him. And just like our players, when you come to the junior college level to be an assistant, you hope for them for the best and continue to move at the Division I level and continuing to go. He's going to be a good head coach one of these days, and he's paying his dues right now and doing a great job with that. The picture right behind me is the picture that he's actually in that photo in the back corner. He helped recruit a lot of those guys to go to Grand Junction the year that we went. So it was a very special setup with that going on there. But I love your son to death, and he's not just a dear friend, but a great asset to our program as well.
Well, that's good to hear. And he feels the same for you. Believe me, we tell you, there's not one conversation your name hasn't ever come up. So it's very mutual.
Well, we're at the junior college level, so we play at the Division I level. The ultimate goal is to get to Grand Junction every year. We've been able to do it once, and what a special place and the mecca of all baseball. If you ever get a chance to do a podcast, go there during that Grand Junction setup, and wow, what an amazing time that was. And the biggest thing for us is junior college gets the wrap of your son or daughter just goes there to move on to the next level. What's different about us is on our baseball program in the last 10 years, it's actually 11 now, starting now, is we're 100% graduation rate. So not only do we bring you here and put you at a competitive nature, but we're also going to get you here and get you a degree. And that's the biggest thing to understand as kids continue to move on and parents and looking for a place to play is what gives you that opportunity to be able to play at the highest level. And you get your guys that are maybe bounce backs from Auburn, Alabama, that come in. But the biggest thing is they got to come in here and understand they're coming to get a degree. Once they get that degree, we're able to go on from there. Our team GPA has been a 3.5 or better. Again, it's something that we put our guys in study hall day in, day out when we recruit. We're not like most where we just bring you in to go. You're going to come here and you're going to get a degree. That's what we hang our hat on, and that's where we go. We also preach to our guys that if you get a 3.5 or better, the in-state tuition and the out-of-state tuition, they give you anywhere between $3,000 to $8,000. So then we start talking a little bit of money-wise versus a scholarship here and a scholarship there with the way NIL and the way money goes nowadays. So it's very important for these kids to understand they're not just coming to a junior college to waste 2 years or to waste a year. They're coming here to get a degree. They're coming here to get an education. And we all know with COVID, when COVID came in, they stopped all baseball, they stopped all basketball, they stopped everything, right? But it's amazing. We still all went to school, didn't we? Nobody said, oh, we're going to stop the year of school and nobody's going to go to school. So it shows them, especially the younger guys that are coming through and the younger females that are coming through Snead State, they understand that you're going to leave here with a degree and you're going to be able to transfer from Georgia Tech to, Oklahoma. It doesn't matter, Alabama, Auburn, and you're going to be able to be set for the long run, not just 2 years of playing baseball.
And speaking of that, you've just named a couple of places your kids go. Where do they usually end up? 9-8 times out of 10 going to a Division I school when they leave Snead State.
We've been lucky to have that caliber of player, and not only that, but the character of the young man that's been able to come into our program. And we preach a lot on that, not just the baseball player, but building the community service and understanding who they are and what they do. To tell you that they just go here or just go there, we try to tell our kids that we hope that we put them in the best opportunity to go where they want to. Or when they look at it, when they first get here, that may be school A. And when it's all said and done, they realize that, hey, coach, my degree, I can get it here. I can get a full ride scholarship to school here. I would be crazy to go pay $20,000 to go get a degree just to be a walk-on or just to be a guy that's a number when I can go to school A and to be able to come here. And now I'm fighting for a championship as well as getting my entire school paid for.
Right. And Coach Porter, you kind of like we're in that same boat with Division II, right? Trying to find that niche for that kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I can definitely relate. Coach, first of all, it's the first time I got to, really say hi to you. Thanks for coming on. But can you tell us a little bit about just junior college baseball in Alabama, as a whole? Obviously, most people know how good a baseball it is, but, talk a little bit about the other teams and, just the quality of baseball, and the quality of players that are coming out of Alabama.
Junior college in Alabama is pretty special. For a while, we had an automatic berth when we were all Division I. We had an automatic berth to Grand Junction. That's really hard, but we had that where the winner of our state championship got an automatic berth. Well, now we have to go to Louisiana. We split up into Division I and Division II junior college, which is a little different. There's no rhyme or reason of why it happened or how it happened. There's some talks of this could possibly happen within the next 3 to 5 years of housing being paid for and so much. But in the state of Alabama, junior college baseball only has one scholarship, and that is books, tuition, and fees. And you can't pay room and board. You can't pay meals. You don't do that stuff. We're a Division II scholarship playing at the Division I level. So with that being said, at the national level, are we behind the eight ball as in money-wise and competing with that? Yes. Can we go out and compete and go? Shelton State has proven that year in, year out. Chat Valley was able to do it. Central Alabama won it probably 8-9 years ago when they actually won the whole thing. So, again, now that we've split up into Division I and Division II, it gives us 8 schools in the north and 8 schools in the south. And probably now I think we're at 10. We may be at 10 and maybe 10 and 11, I think it is, with the other ones coming back. I'm not actually sure. So you have a Division I state championship and a Division II state championship. And Division I wise, we played Shelton State this weekend, and the polls came out today, and they were actually ranked 5th in the nation. So the standard and the ability to be able to play in the state of Alabama is very good baseball.
The thing you don't realize too, and I'm going to say this about Casey, because I've known him, I've seen his teams play. When you mention junior college baseball in the state of Alabama, the next name is his name that's usually mentioned. That's what he's done for that division in this state, whether it's the Alabama Coaches Association or other coaches. They always mention Coach Underwood. He's players, development, this, that. And I think I know when I moved down here, I moved from upstate New York originally down. And, I always wondered why junior college is such the attraction here. Well, it used to be if you didn't go Alabama or Auburn, you went to a JUCO down here. And they get some very, very talented athletes and great students to play at these JUCOs. It's phenomenal baseball.
It is, and we've been blessed. We've had some guys come through our program, guys like Amos Willingham, who's now on the Atlanta Brave 40-man roster. He was drafted by the Washington Nationals, got his cup of coffee with the Nationals. It was great to watch that and great to watch him go through. He was here in 2017-18, and to be able to watch him go, he signed at Georgia Tech. When it went to Georgia Tech, was a midweek guy. Had a really good game against Georgia. The next Friday night, their guy had Tommy John or blows his elbow out. And before you know it, Amos becomes the Friday night guy at Georgia Tech and winds up getting drafted by Eric Robinson with the Washington Nationals at that time. And then we go in and last year, our best player before that, or with that, was Carter Frederick. And Carter was a special young man and been through a lot, but my goodness gracious, what a talent he is, and what a great young man that he's turned into. And Carter was a transfer from Auburn, came to us as a two-way guy, pitched with us, took us all the way to Grand Junction as a pitcher hitter. And then his sophomore year, he wanted to focus more on the hitting side. Ended up turning some stuff down at the draft, signed with Oklahoma, signed a pretty good NIL deal with that as well. And then went from Oklahoma and was drafted it broke his hamate bone, only got to play in 8 games, and then turned around and got drafted by the Kansas City Royals, who's in their farm system now. And man, we're super proud of him. So to be able to say that, we've got those 2 guys. We had another guy named William Guay that was drafted by the Cardinals and was in their farm system for a couple of years. But it's, baseball here in the state of Alabama is something that we're really proud of. It's something that is a very competitive, get after it. And our conference is 36 games of just absolute brutal beating each other up. And it's an absolute dogfight each and every week. And, we look forward to it. And last one standing at the grind is your state champion usually.
Yeah. To elaborate a little bit, Coach, you're going out, you're recruiting. Everybody talks metrics. Everybody talks this. Everybody, what is it you look for?
Well, I'll be honest with you. At the junior college level, you look for the best player that you can get. You get a lot of no's because, of course, you're going after the Division I guy. You're going after a coach knows as well, what they call the Division II guy. I don't know where they all get these labels is when they wind up at that place. Now, all of a sudden, you're a JUCO guy or division. Again, I believe we go after the best players we possibly can go after. Now, with that being said, what is the best player you can go after? Well, when you sit down at a field, you got to be able to find a tool. You got to be able to, and they got to be really good at something. They either got to be really strong, they got to be fast, they got to be able to swing with power. They have to have a tool. If you don't have a tool, there's most likely the hard chance of you being able to earn scholarship money. Now, your tool may be you have arm strength. And from there, some coach looks at you or a recruiting coordinator looks at you and says, I can turn this guy into this. If he gets here in our program and we blossom him, there he goes. His arm strength is going to allow him to carry him because maybe his bat isn't as strong as it needs to be. But we get him in our program, we can get him to where we need to. Or vice versa. You may get the guy with the power arm and say, man, this guy doesn't throw a whole lot of strikes, but can we get him here and get him into the strike zone? That's usually a really hard thing to do, but because of his tool nature and the one thing that he has is velocity, I will be honest with you, there's a good chance that he's going to find his way a lot faster than that guy that's throwing 84 to 85 that's getting a whole lot of outs, that there's not the tool that stands out. And the 82 to 84 guy, he's got to be able to spin the breaking ball. And if he can spin the breaking ball, my door's wide open and come on in here and get in here and let's go. But you've got to have something that stands out to be able to do it. So when you go to that game and you see your coach with a stopwatch and you don't hustle down the line, when you don't go on and off the field, I'll be honest, in today's time, we do something that we didn't do probably 7 years ago, and that's we watch how their parents react. We watch how their parents go on social media and put stuff on social media because, like I told you, we're talking about the character of the young man. And when he comes here in our program, and if we can't get him to buy into what we're trying to develop, what we're trying to do, because the parents are in their ears telling them something else, it's just not going to be a fit for us. And he may be a guy that has tools. And that's something that, in today's time, you really have to look, can they fit in your program? Can they fit in your style of what you're looking for? And so, again, the biggest thing is you have to find that tool. You have to be a hit guy. You have to be a guy that can absolutely play defense. But, a coach and I were talking, a good friend of mine from LBW, Coach Helms, an absolute legend in the state. And we were talking the other day, what makes those kids stand out? And it comes down to, if they don't have a tool, we can't help them all the way through it. We can't reteach the game. We can't reinvent it for them. But they've got to have a tool that you can build off of.
That's great. That's great. I mean, kind of a great philosophy there. Talk a little bit, if you would, about like today's high school player, right? Now, I realize you get some transfers, from D1 kickbacks, D2 guys, whatever, kids from other JUCOs, but like, let's talk about, if you would, recruiting a high school kid.
All right. So the process with us, again, if we see them in the summer, we love to bring them in on campus, explain to them, show them what we have, and go in there. Coaches, we do a really good job of talking to their high school coach. I don't want to recruit a kid unless I can get in touch with his high school coach. He's there, the nuts and bolts. In today's time, summer ball has turned into so much of what team he plays on summer ball and what he does this and what he does that. For us, we want to reach out to that high school coach. We want to find out that high school coach, how he is in the classroom, how he is showing up every day to practice, the characters of fitting into our program. With that being said, I looked out in the field this weekend, and at one time we had 8 freshmen, 8 high school, not transfers, 8 high school freshmen on the field. Our local area, we have some guys that are very talented right across the street, and Boaz High School does a great job. Albertville does a great job. Sardis High School does a great job. And we want those guys here. We want to build off with those local talents and be able to let them play in front of their parents, play in front of their girlfriends, play in front of their aunts and uncles, and be able to grow. So for us, the high school route is where we go. That's who buys into our program. We're real big about the front of the shirt means something. And it's hard when you get a junior college bounce back to come in and really buy into what you're doing. And when they do, they help your program go really, really good. Trey Higgins transferred to us from Mississippi State. He's starting in right field for Sanford right now. And he had a chance to leave after his freshman year and was able to stay for the 2 years. Mm-hmm. And that's what he wanted to do. So the high school setup now is, I think that kid at the Division I level, yes, may not get the looks that he may have gotten before because of they can go find that 5th-year transfer. They can go find that 4th-year guy and NIL money. But the high school level right now, the talent's still there. The talent's there. The question is, can you take that kid and put him in your program and develop him? The biggest thing that we're learning is now the high school kids are using junior college as a 1-year and go. Again, we've had many of those. We've had, first name to come off the top of the head is Mr. Finke. And Finke was with us for 1 year and transferred out, signed Division I. But, his parents and him, they all did it the right way. They sat down and said, ultimate goal here is to sign a Division I scholarship. If the right Division I comes in, that's what we want to do. And that's what we want to do as a junior college. He also came in with 20 some odd hours of transferable college hours. He was ready to go to the 4-year level as a high school player. Amish Willingham came in, with his GPA of just out the roof of 3.9, whatever, a point away from being a 4.0 student. He comes into us and he transfers in with all these hours. He plays for us for 2 years and signs with Georgia Tech. And why did he sign with Georgia Tech? Because ultimately he wanted to be an engineer, and where else to go besides Georgia Tech to become an engineer, right? And so those are the type of kids that we go after. We sign academically. We hold our guys to a pretty good standard. Yes, I say that we have a 100% graduation rate, but that's also because we go to study hall every day for an hour before we go to practice. They're not allowed on the practice field without going to study hall. There's a lot of things that are involved to help them be able to stay on pace and maintain their GPA. So those are the things that we do. Hopefully I answered that for you on the high school side.
Yeah, that was great. And then maybe to follow up here, and we just kind of to add from the ability factor, amateur baseball today. Do you feel like your kids struggle, and it's all relative to where they're going to high school and the type of coaching they're getting at high school, and even a travel ball. Do you kind of feel like high school kids, guys that hung around facilities, that type of stuff, are we teaching more of a swing and not the game? Or do you feel like kids maybe, maybe a little bit more so than 10 years ago don't know the game as much? What's your take on that now?
I think we've gone to the fast food drive-through McDonald's. How quick can we think we can get success? When we played the game of baseball, we were playing wiffle ball in the backyard. We didn't need somebody to tell us when to run, when to stop, when to go. We knew what a ghost runner was.
Yeah.
We knew how to make our own game and then find that out. In the fall, we play wiffle ball. Why do we play wiffle ball? Because kids don't play it anymore. Like you're talking, they have a swing coach, they have a fielding coach, they have a mental coach, which are all great. There's nothing wrong with that. But you also have to have the athlete that can go out there and play the game as well, right? You have to go. We want so much. We had one that came in today and he said, Coach, can we talk about my swing from the weekend? I said, man, let's go. We've got A-Ware. We've got Synergy. We got it all. He said, what'd you think about my swing for the weekend? And I'm like, what? What did you think about my swing? Well, you were 2 for 16. So are we worried about your swing, or are we worried about how you were in the game this weekend? And are we developing a player that goes out and competes, or are we just worried about a swing? So again, I think the competitive edge at times in the game of failure, which baseball is and we know is, I don't think kids fail anymore. I don't think the parents allow the kid to fail. They turn around and take them out and move him off this summer ball team or this high school, or it's a better fit for us to go over here. I know when I played, there was no transferring of high schools. There was no transferring of you legit went to this place, and if you were the best, they'd find you. But you played with those group of guys for 4 years. It wasn't that, hey, look, let's go over here and see what we can do over here, or what can. And I'll tell you that the guys that there's a lot of times in programs that I can see people moving and understand why they do it. But I also know that there's a lot of times when you rode home with your mom or dad and they were told you, hey, look, this is a game of failure. You're going to have to learn how to fail and understand that it's okay and be able to get your butt and go to work tomorrow. And let's understand how to go. And do we teach a lot about the swing? Yes, we do. Do we try to teach approach here? No doubt. I'm big on, I'd rather have a guy with a better approach than a great swing. If he's going to put that swing off, let's make sure that we know what we're putting that swing off for. Let's understand that. High school level, when you have a bunch of freshmen, they have no clue what you're talking about when you say sitting pitches, when you say understanding what you're doing. What are we looking for? I mean, we have all this information and we're giving it to the kids and they don't know how to read it. They don't know what they're looking for and why they're looking for it. It sounds great that their spin rate is this. It sounds great that their swing is this. But if they don't know that the guy throws 70% breaking balls, we're not going to get that fastball sitting there, sit on the breaking ball, and we're not swinging at it in the dirt, right? We're understanding what pitches to go at and where to go. So those are kind of the things that we do on our side that are a little different, of understanding that it's a little more of the kid now wants success right away. In the old days, you take a kid and teach him a swing and let him within a year develop into a really good hitter. Now he wants to be a good hitter because you told him to put his hands here or you told him to do this. And if he's not right away, his whole world crumbles in front of him.
I couldn't agree more, Coach. I think that. So I've been out of college baseball for about 3.5 years, right? And I can tell a difference. And, with all the things that have happened at the NCAA level, when you talked about the transfers and stuff like that, if you really think about it, I was talking about one of my buddies the other day, and I'm like, for years we would watch kids jump from travel ball organization to travel ball organization to travel ball organization, right? If they didn't like this guy, if they didn't like this guy, whatever, or this coach or this facility, it's the same thing that's going on in in the NCAA right now.
It's amazing.
You go for a year, and so I think the JUCO game is really it's a great level, and I really believe that the JUCO level still has that that pure college baseball feel where kids are competing for that next thing, but like kids in your program, winning is important. The culture is important. Doing things the right way is important. And I think what you're doing is awesome. So definitely love what I'm hearing.
Well, I appreciate it.
And I'll tell you, I have sat at Coach Underwood's games many times, and I think, this culture that he's created. I coached college for over 30 years. You, Coach Porter, you've coached college. Together we're probably 800 years of experience here. But you sit there and you can always tell just by listening to the chatter around you from the different people. I have never heard anybody complain about the way he coaches, the way he handles their kids, the way he does this. They are 100% the way it should be. How many coaches do you know have two guys in Major League Baseball and they will drive to Atlanta, or they'll drive to Kansas City, or they'll go to Texas or Oklahoma to see that former player that he coached playing at that next level? Think about it. Society just won't allow you to do that, for one, anymore. He finds the way. So
I've had some really, really good role models. The guy that was the head coach here before I got here was Coach Ledbetter, and he had been here for 20-umpteen years. He gave me a chance to walk on here, and I'm in debt to him forever for that. Not only did he allow me to walk on, I earned a scholarship. Then he gave me a chance to be an assistant, and pretty much I became his son without him knowing, because I was at his house and his wife was feeding me every night. And I was not being able to pay bills, but to be able to make sure that I had a meal on the table. And, he always taught me to treat these guys, and I don't have any kids, but he always treated us as players as we were his son. And, as a father, you have to discipline your son, but you always love your son and you're always there for them. Now, are they going to screw up and mess up? Yes, they are. But you got to be there to be able to help them, be able to get better as that. And, Coach Ledbetter has taught me that. He's still with me. He's my right-hand guy. I don't know what I would do without him with me all the time. But he's my extra little help that's right there on the bench. And he's my punching bag sometimes. He's my pillow to cry on sometimes. And but he's a special, special guy to me. And, again, I lost my father last week or 2 weeks ago, and, he was right there with me. So I understand how much it means to truly care about each and every player. And I just hope that I continue to do that the way that he would do it when he ran this program. And that's what we do, and that's what we're built on. And it makes us a little different, because I do coach them hard, and I do get after them, and I do hold them to a standard, but I also love them really, really hard too. So.
Well, in closing, go ahead, Coach Porter. You were going to say something.
What I was going to say was, people that are listening to this podcast, as a former college player, former coach, or former college coach, current high school coach, baseball, lifer, whatever, just like the three of us are, we love the game. What Coach Underwood is saying is important, right? The college game has gotten too transactional, right? Yes. With how the portal, and are there kids in there that need to transfer? Sure. Are there kids in there that are misguided, that are flip-flopping around? Absolutely. And there's a lot of eyewash, and there's a lot of just misguided people in our game right now. I think it's, all you got to do is get on social media, and there's a lot of good stuff, but there's a lot of I'm going to outdo you stuff on there, instead of keeping the game simple. But when you choose a college, listen, the game at some point is going to end for you, even if you're a Hall of Famer. And we all hope you are, right? The lessons you're going to learn in a program playing for a guy like Coach Underwood are going to last you forever, right? And what you get from this game and that type of stuff, being part of something that's greater than you, having discipline, getting coached hard. It's okay to get coached hard, people. You should get coached hard, because life's hard.
That's right.
Yes, it
And
is.
and nothing's easy. And so it's important, and I hope the people that are listening to this tonight understand how important it's to be a part of a team and to learn and the bigger picture, because this stuff is really, really important. So take all that to heart, listeners, and think about what Coach Underwood's been saying.
And I think my message is there's really no losers here. You either win or you learn a lesson.
That's exactly right.
You may have to learn more lessons than you think, but you never lose. You learn from that, and you get better. And that's what it is. And Casey, in closing, how does somebody get a hold of you or your program, or what, give yourself a little plug here? Because like I say, it's a tremendous program. I mean, the facilities. I came from upstate New York. I've seen junior colleges in upstate New York. You come down here. This is a minor leaguer stadium, more or less, a minor league facility. It's phenomenal what he's done. They have lights. They have night baseball in a junior college. I mean, back when I played, you get as many cars around the field as you want with the headlights on, and we played. It was. I'm just a little bit older than both you guys, but.
Well, we've been blessed we have a phenomenal president, and his name's Dr. Joe Whitmore, and he deserves all the credit for that. He believes that athletics at the junior college, not just baseball, basketball. This is the only president. I've talked to coaches that have been in the game for 50 some odd years, and they'll say, Casey, I can tell you on one hand how many times my president's been to a game. Our president doesn't miss a game. He has his own reserve seat behind home plate. His wife sits next to him. He has his own seats at the softball game. He doesn't miss a basketball game. He doesn't miss a volleyball game. The guy is 100%. The reason we're successful is because he's bought into athletics. He's a great Christian man. He's a guy that I look up to every day for the stuff that he goes through. But Dr. Joe Whitmore is a special, special man. And we wouldn't be here today with this program, with where we're at, without anything or any of this stuff. Our basketball team just won the state championship in Division II basketball. Our girls came in second place this year in Division II back-to-back 2 years. Our basketball team is back-to-back state champions. Our volleyball team came in third place. Baseball, we came in second in the conference last year. Softball came in second in the conference and finished at the state tournament in third place. We are absolutely competitive. Our women's golf actually competed at the national ranking. We have her. She's back now as a sophomore. She's going to be, I think they said she was ranked fourth in the nation in Division I golf and women's golf. So, again, this is the place to be. We love it here. We've got people that truly care about the academic side. So when you get here, you're going to get that degree that you need. Athletic wise, I'll put our facilities up against anybody. I'd love to show you a tour of the place, of the indoor. Maybe one day we'll bring it back and be able to show a little clip of the indoor facility. But you can follow us on Snead State Baseball on Twitter, Facebook, social media. You can also follow Snead State Athletics for all other sports. We update it with all our games coming up. For anybody in the state of Alabama, we thank Howard Bentley, GMC, that's right down the road in Albertville. They pay a donation every year, so all of our games from basketball, volleyball, tennis, you name it, all athletic events are free. So all parents, anybody can show up at any time, come and go. You don't have to worry about it. And pretty amazing thing. But you can find me on Casey Underwood on Twitter. I think that's it. It may be Casey33. To be honest with you, I don't even know what my Twitter handle is. I've got one. But the easiest way to contact me is casey.underwood@snead.edu. And, again, you can reach out to these two guys if you have any questions or need anything from me. And they have my number, and they're free to give that out as much as they need to, because we're in the business to help kids. And the bottom line is They come here as kids, and hopefully when they leave here, they're better men, they're better women, not just in the community, not just on the baseball field, the softball field, the basketball court, but as an overall person when they leave this place.
Excellent. And I'll tell you, just a plug for Casey in the school. If you are interested in the junior college program as a route, and you want to play in front of a lot of fans and knowledgeable people and have top-notch facilities, I have seen this baseball stadium myself. It's top-notch, and it's like a steel cage match on game days. It's packed. And Coach Underwood, we can't thank you enough. This has been very informative for our people. As Coach Porter said, if you want help with schools, head to accountrecruiting.com. We can get in touch with Coach Underwood very easily, or fill out the questionnaire. We can help you everywhere else. We give you a free evaluation. In fact, Coach, I didn't even tell you that. We give free evaluations to people just for filling it in. No strings attached. So, if we get kids and they want to go that route, we certainly would send them to you. Not a problem. But
well, I appreciate it, and thank you for all you do to help the kids. And that's the ultimate goal, and that's what it's about, and being able to help 1 to 100 to however many it is. It's just the opportunity to continue to play the game that we love. And man, I can't thank you two enough for taking the time. I know I've had some crazy time adjustments not being able to be here to do that, but thank you very much for working with my schedule and allowing me to be on here tonight.
It was well worth the wait. Thank you very much. And folks, we hope to see you next week with another guest.